Some 70 years later, those events for us could be appreciated a little differently, maybe with a true sense of history. At that particular time, as many of you know, was not as simple as it appears. It's probably not that simple even today. There were some people, while there was certainly tremendous celebration, as you know, that from its inception, the state of Israel was not universally accepted. I don't want to belabor it, but certainly, you know, even Yom Ha'atzmaut, there are people in Klal Yisrael who said Hallel today. We did not say Hallel today. There are different strands of halacha, and I'm not going to go through all of the different shittas of different gedolim, different goinim, different Torah giants who had their perspectives, and obviously each particular brand of Klal Yisrael has to follow their das Torah in determining what exactly is the halachic response, just even in terms of davening, in terms of music. It's a spirit. Do you celebrate? Do you play music? Is it okay? Is it not okay? These are all aspects of analysis that need to be done seriously and understand that there are halachic implications to everything that we do. And certainly at that time, since the heart of Zionism was essentially a non-religious movement, there were certainly many people that were not happy and understood that you can't have leadership that's devoid of Torah. Just like you really can't have an anthem devoid of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's name. There are different issues and different attitudes. I don't think it's really going to benefit us right now, and that's really not my goal to get into those issues. You can do research, you can read books, a lot of articles, and there's a lot to appreciate on all sides of the story. But there's a joke that I think went around years ago, and I just recently heard it again. I think this joke, I'm not sure how funny it is at the end. You might giggle, and I certainly don't want any sarcastic laughs, please. But I think the joke is very instructive of somehow how Klal Yisrael has, not all of us, of course, but some of us have devolved into this fractured situation of seeing the negative, seeing the divisive, and I think this is a day that needs to be a unifying day. A day of getting together, a day of Achdus, as we prepare again for Maimon Har Sinai, 19 days into the Omer. Vayichan Sham Yisrael Neged Ahar. And this day always falls out in the Omer as we are counting down the days to that event, momentous occasion. And the joke is, and I'll cut it short, you can drag this joke on for a long time, but basically a Jew's driving down the road, he's passing by a bridge, and he sees a person whose mom is hanging over the side of the bridge, about to fall off and about to leap to his death. Right? Certain bridges have a title, suicide bridge, or different types. There are bridges that are known for suicide. So the guy decides to stop. He's a wonderful Jew, and he wants to maybe, see what he can do. Maybe he can talk this guy down. So he gets out of his car and he says, Sir, please, what? He says, no, you can't do this, you're a valuable person, you can't do this. He says, no. He says, please let me try to talk you down from doing this terrible thing. You can't commit suicide, you can't throw yourself off a bridge. He says, well, you got 60 seconds. 60 seconds, okay, he says, well, maybe he's going to try to find a connection between him and the guy. He says, let me ask you something. Not that it's really that important, but tell me, are you Jewish or are you not Jewish? Are you a Gentile or are you a Jew? He says, I'm a Jew. Oh, wow, you're a Jew. That's great. I'm also a Jew. So tell me, now that you're Jewish, which brand? Are you Reconstructionist? Are you conservative? Are you Reformer? Are you Orthodox? He says, I'm Orthodox. Wow, I'm also Orthodox. It's amazing. We have so much in common. And tell me, in the Orthodox brand, are you sort of the modern Orthodox or are you the sort of the black hat Orthodox? He says, no, I'm black hat Orthodox. Oh, wow, so am I. That's really something. That's amazing. So tell me, the black hat Orthodox, are the Yeshiva Orthodox or are you the Hasidic Orthodox? So he says, I'm the Yeshiva Orthodox. Oh, that's amazing. Well, in the Yeshiva Orthodox, are you the American Yeshiva Orthodox or are you the Israeli Yeshiva Orthodox? He says, no, I'm the Israeli Yeshiva Orthodox. Oh, wow, that's amazing. I spent time in Israel too. I have the same affiliation. That's unbelievable. Well, tell me, in the Israeli Yeshiva Orthodox, are you Yerushalayim Yeshiva Orthodox, or are you Bnei Brak Yeshiva Orthodox? He said, I'm Yerushalayim. Oh, wow, me too. I learned in Yerushalayim. It's amazing. It's unbelievable. We have so much in common. So he says, well, in Yerushalayim Yeshiva Orthodox, are you brisk or are you mir? He says, no, I'm brisk. Wow, fantastic, you're brisk. Look at that, we have so much in common. He says, well, in brisk, are you Avram Yeshua brisk? Okay, or are you Reb David brisk? He says, I'm Reb David brisk. Reb David brisk? I'm Avram Yeshua. Go ahead and jump. Okay? So that's the joke. And we can giggle a little bit, Rabbi Isai, but what we sort of see from this story, and I hate to say it, I cannot say we are all free from this mentality. That we have, sometimes if we're mean-spirited, if we sort of forget the fundamental message of the Torah, and certainly in this week's Parshah of Kedoshim Tiyu, and certainly this week's Parsha that talks about V'ahavta L'reacha Kamocha, and certainly after 7 years of seeing what Eretz Isroel has become, certainly its roots were definitely fractured, its roots were definitely controversial, and even to this day we do have different attitudes. Rabbi said, but one thing we should always see and have to see even in today's world, what has resulted in that time? What is it that we can look at in Eretz Yisrael and find common vision and common ground? And what can we actually celebrate where, no matter who you are, no matter what strain you come from, no matter what affiliation you might have, and that is Eretz Yisrael has been a place not only for all Jews to come and be safe and to be spared the horrors, the persecutions. We've seen it with the Russians who escaped, who came to Eretz Yisrael, and the Ethiopians who escaped. And literally in every single corner of the world where Jews are looking for a place where they can be protected, where they can set up a new life without persecution. And when did this happen, Rabbi Isai? Think about that vote in November 1947. Officially, the Jewish leadership in Israel, the Jewish agency, voted on this day, on Yom Ha'atzmaut 1948, to basically take that partition and implement it as an official declaration that we are the Jewish state. That's why we celebrate it today, even though the vote was taken in November. There was a 6-month respite, and hopefully there were things that were supposed to happen properly. It didn't happen the way it was designed, but the Zionists decided to make a statement, and that began, unfortunately, a war, and also ultimately the process of Israel becoming Israel at that particular time. But look at all of the incredible things that have happened in Eretz Yisrael. Look at what Eretz Yisrael has been for the Jewish people just in this period of time. How much Torah has grown in Eretz Yisrael? If you have any idea, Rabbi Isai, you really can't until you go there and begin to sort of gain the spiritual air and to see what's happening in Eretz Yisrael, of the incredible growth of Torah, the incredible connection of Jews. Despite what we hear, there is an unbelievable connection of Jews in Eretz Yisrael. We are one. No longer do we look at what yarmulke the soldier was wearing, whether he was Nachal Haredi or he was Hesder or he was Israel. It does not matter. As we heard yesterday, the fallen soldier is a fallen soldier. He's Kadosh. He died al pi Kiddush Hashem to save Klal Yisrael. The strands of Torah, whether it's Hasidish, whether it's Litvish, no matter what it is, the Hezbollah yeshivas, the growth is just remarkable. More people could be learning Torah now than any time since the Beis HaMikdash, since we had the Beis HaMikdash. So is it not a need and a cause for tremendous celebration that we have a place where we have such incredible Kedusha that we can take advantage of? We're going to Eretz Yisrael is no longer a trek of such danger. Where everybody who didn't long, the Chavetz Chaim, the Vilna Gaon, every single Gadol in the history, the Rambans, how many people that spent their lives longing for that ability to be in the Eretz HaKadoshah? It wasn't about whether it's Zionist and whether the flag is white or blue. It's Eretz Yisrael. And that is what we could all celebrate, because this was the process that HaKadosh Baruch Hu chose. Whether we agree with all of the foundational principles of what happened, that this right now, looking back, was a day that was a watershed moment in us being able to do what we are doing right now. And that is visit, live, and be part of Eretz Yisrael. I'm part of Klal Yisrael. When Avram and Sarah, the end of Parshas Noach, when they decided to leave where they were and go to Eretz Yisrael, the pasuk throws in a very interesting pasuk. Doesn't seem to really fit there directly, but the pasuk says, "V'sarai akara ema vlad." It says Sarah was barren and she had no children. Well, if she's barren, of course I know she has no children. Why do you have to say "V'sarai akara ema vlad"? What's the point? Why the redundancy? The Rabbi Avrohom says something very, very amazing. Something very worth listening to. Because this, in its essence, represents what Eretz Yisrael was all about. Says Rabbi Avrohom that Sarah did not have, not only did she have any children, not only was she conventionally barren from a conventional perspective, but she didn't have any of lots in the river Chai. She didn't even have the receptacle, the physical ability to have a child. So it was almost like a double negative. There are women who don't conceive, and the doctors say you're not going to conceive. And we see miracles; they conceive anyway. Wow, we have many, many stories even in our lifetime of women who the doctor said just give up; it's not going to happen, and it happens. But it never happened that you didn't have the physical receptacle to hold the baby and you can have a child. That can't happen. And Sarah didn't have the physical receptacle. I don't know if it was the uterus per se or some other part, but it was not physically possible. It's like trying to throw a ball with your right hand and you don't have a right hand. Can you be a right-handed pitcher without a right hand? You can't. It just doesn't work. It's not possible. So it says a statement that does not make any sense until you know Eretz Yisrael. Rabbi Avrohom says, Avram says to Sarah, you know what? We're not going to have children here. We're in Chutz Aretz. It ain't going to happen. So you know what? Let us go to Eretz Yisrael, and maybe in the course of being in Eretz Yisrael, we're going to have a child. Listen to this. This is very, very important. As we're hanging out in the valley, we can't relate to this Rabbi Avrohom until we think about it. Because life in Los Angeles is very nice. But it ain't Eretz Yisrael. And we have to at least appreciate intellectually what we're missing. Says Avram to his wife, you know what, let us go to Eretz Yisrael because maybe we can have a family there. Maybe we can have a family there. What, you're going to grow a right hand in Eretz Yisrael? What are you saying, Avram? What are you talking about? They start to pick themselves up and go from Haran to Eretz Yisrael because Elo Vlad. You don't have what it takes. You're missing a right hand. And things look impossible. And Avram was saying to his wife, and the Torah is teaching us, no, there's no such thing as impossible. It looks impossible. It does not make any sense. By the laws of nature, this will never happen. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu opened up Avram's eyes and made him understand. It's a place called Eretz Yisrael where the impossible happens. There's a place called Eretz Yisrael where nothing's impossible. The place in Eretz Yisrael where HaKadosh Baruch Hu's relationship with us is so unique and so special and so profound and so intimate, no matter whatever seems impossible is no longer impossible. Maybe that's the simplest answer to the question I raise at least once a year. How is it? How the miracles we have seen just from Valley Torah's experience? I'm only here 32 years. The school was here 10, 11 years before me. In the 40 to 45 years of the history of Valley Torah High School, the miracles we have seen. Again and again and again, every single year with people who you would have said, based on what you're looking at in high school, it ain't going to happen. And everyone scratches it. How could it be? How could a kid, he never learned Gemara, he hated Gemara, he was the most incorrigible, he was this and he was that, and a superstar, a tzaddik, a writer of Svarim, somebody who is emergent. It does not make any sense. I know this kid, I knew him for all those years. It can't be, right? It can't be. And maybe there are more than one answer, but you know, maybe that's the simplest answer. Turn to Eretz Yisrael. The Gemara says the Torah of Eretz Yisrael is not like the Torah of any other place. That's what we were longing for. And we're still longing for it in the way that we ultimately need to have it. As was intimated, Mashiach, we know was coming. They thought he was coming imminently after such an amazing miracle. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. But we know he's coming. That's what we pray for every single day, many times a day. We pray every day, we want to see you. To appreciate that this was a major step in our ability to appreciate Eretz Yisrael. We're not there yet. We still have a lot to pray for. But we can appreciate what it is that Eretz Yisrael represents to us. What it is, how it is completely above any other realm of experience. How Eretz Yisrael and Klal Yisrael and Torah are the indivisible aspects of what makes up a unique relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's who we are. We're inseparable from those things. It's Klal Yisrael, it's Eretz Yisrael, and it's Torah. And when we have that combination, then we are an indomitable force. That's what we're longing for. That's what we're waiting for. And our job, Rabbi Isai, is we celebrate or we don't celebrate. Whether we say Hallel or we don't say Hallel. Whether we have problems with secular Zionism or we don't have problems with secular Zionism. Whether I was at a program over Pesach, and it was very interesting. We had a rabbi from Panama, a very strong Zionist rabbi who was spent many years in Eretz Israel. We had another very brilliant man from New York, and I was on the panel as well. And one of the questions came up about Eretz Israel. So I just spoke. I said very quickly in terms of our connection. Of course, it's profoundly important, and we know that without Eretz Israel, the ultimate growth of a young man in his life today is very, very challenging. To run into college without spending that time in Eretz Yisrael, to appreciate Eretz HaKadoshim, Klal Yisrael in its full totality of what it means. Learning Torah and yeshiva, these are things that are critical, and therefore it becomes a very, very powerful force in our yeshiva. We have people coming here all the time talking about Eretz Yisrael. For every senior, you almost get dizzy from the amount of presentations you have. You have people who have literally risked their lives and have joined the army to defend Eretz Yisrael. And we have many, many graduates who made Aliyah to live in Eretz Yisrael. Many, many graduates. So our relationship with Eretz Yisrael is very profound. But I said we don't focus so much on the political aspects of yes, no, Zionism, religion. We sort of stay away from that. It's Eretz Yisrael. It's Eretz HaKadoshim. It was very interesting where the fellow from Panama was a Talmud Chacham, and he's a learned fellow, and he spent a lot of years in Eretz Yisrael, heavy Israeli accent, and he was talking about Zionism. And then the fellow from the Talmud Chacham from New York, who certainly wouldn't call him a Torah Kartanik at all, he gave a nice long 10-minute tirade about the fact that Zionism, he spoke about the fact that Eretz Yisrael goes way beyond the word Zionism. Eretz Yisrael is the very fabric of who we are as our people. Eretz Yisrael is a living organism. He said a very interesting thing, right? We just read last week. Be careful when you go to Eretz Yisrael, you make sure to do the mitzvahs because we don't want Eretz Yisrael to spit you out. He said a very interesting thing and the word is really vomit. He says, be careful, don't have Eretz Yisrael vomit you out. He says, you can't find. He also says, very diverse in his knowledge, incredible knowledge in many fields. And he says, the word vomit, a sucky to spit out, to vomit out, does not exist by non-living organisms. It only exists by a living organism. A non-living organism cannot vomit anything out. He says, Eretz Yisrael is a living organism. It has palpable kedusha of a level that we can't really even relate to. It's not just another piece of land somewhere. And therefore, it goes way more than that. He spoke about Torah. And then it was very interesting that the other rabbi sort of felt he needed a rebuttal. So the other rabbi said, well, let me just explain. And he basically said that he's a religious Zionist, and he ultimately said that when we talk about Zionism, it's it's a tzion that we say every day in our davening. That's the tzion that we're talking about. So again, with all of the differences, it ultimately came down to the exact same concept. You hold of Tzion, I hold of Tzion. Maybe I don't use the word Zionism, you use the word Zionism. It doesn't really matter. Ultimately, we all can agree on what it is that we're praying for, longing for every single day of our lives. We can all agree that we have a place where amazing things happen, where miracles happen on a daily basis. Where it is inexplicable that 2 years after the Holocaust, when we were written off as an irrelevant people anymore, it can't happen. 6 million of our Kedoshim are gone. Leadership, Torah, everything that we imagined is special about Klal Yisrael was gone. We're going to rebuild? It can't be. What Hitler, Yamach Shemay, and the Nazis, Yamach Shemam, couldn't accomplish with their final solution, it'll just happen. The will happen automatically. That's what logic says. That's what the history books would say. But Klal Yisrael is not a book. We're a living organism. And we're connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Certainly an existing, vibrant force that everything comes from in this world. And when you connect us to Eretz Isroel, the last 70 years or so are a proof of what we are, what we can accomplish, and how much more there is yet to accomplish as we await the momentous day. So Rabbi Say, we can sit there and ask another Jew how many different, to break down, we're different, we're not the same, you're not from Yeshua, you're Rabbi David, that's it, I don't care about you. Or we can say, there's another Jew, he's on the bridge, I got to save his life. Not a time for questions. It's a time for answers. It's a time for resolve to connect. It's a time for celebration of the fact that we're here and we can pray for Eretz Yisrael every day. And we can be in Eretz Yisrael. And we can gain from the Kedusha of Eretz Yisrael. We can defend ourselves against enemies as a result of Eretz Yisrael. That, Rabbi Isai, is certainly... It's nice to have falafel, but it so supersedes any type of physical aspect of celebration. It's a celebration that we should feel in our hearts really every single day. So if we focus, Bez Hashem, on the commonality of what we have, on that, there's a very, I don't know if you had a chance to see it, it's also on Matzav, but there's, on Yom HaZikaron went around this woman who lost 2 sons. And when you think about what we heard yesterday, the people who on the front lines defending themselves for Eretz Yisrael, again, there's no differences when you're fighting that fight, you're putting your life on the line, we're one. Every single day, as was heard yesterday, that aspect of Kiddush Hashem, which is a theme in this week's Parsha, the Kiddush Hashem makes us and merges us into one people. That has to stand up for a sense of honor, a sense of dignity, a sense of Kedusha. Kedoshim to you. This incredible message of Kedoshim to you. Bez Hashem, we can fulfill that message. Embrace V'aftarach Kamocha. Understand what Achdus really means in Klal Yisrael, Bez Hashem. We will celebrate a much greater celebration with B'yas HaMashiach and Haven.